Everyone, it's the Wolfman again. Today I have with me on sit down Dave Parker. You might know him just from his YouTube channel, Mr. Parka. You might know him from just his movies with Dustin Mills. I'd like to welcome Dave. Welcome to sit down.
I'm happy to be on here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. So you've got a new movie that you've written and you're directing.
Yeah, if you want to call it a movie, it's called Slimy Little Bastards. And essentially, I was thinking I always wanted to make a movie, and I took the phrase the Murder Party guys. It's not the caliber of their movie, but he said he wanted to make a movie before he was 30, and I'm approaching that age, so I said I'm going to kill myself if I don't make a movie by 30, and I'm almost there. So I got to make this movie, and it's not anything amazing. It's low budget, but it's an anthology, which I love, and it's about little creatures, which I love. Grew up watching Ghoulies 2 and 3 and things like that, and Gremlins and stuff. I love little creatures. I love monsters. So
Oh, very cool. Yeah, Murder Party. That's a good movie to.
that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I really like that. For a low budget independent film, it's one of the better ones out there,
Oh
you
yeah,
know. So
endless.
okay, so you give us an idea that's an anthology. So all three films are going to be based around little creatures.
Uh, yeah. Yeah, all three have little creatures in it. A lot of the same actors are used, but they all play different characters, of course. And then there's going to be a wraparound because an anthology isn't an anthology unless it has a wraparound. It's just a
Very
DVD with a
true.
bunch of shorts. Uh, so I haven't shot the wraparound yet. All the other things are complete, and it's planned for shooting in November with Brandon Salkill and my cousin Jake Benson.
And you also have Miss Madison in it,
No,
right?
no Haley Madison.
Oh, I thought she was in this one.
Aaron Ryan is though,
Oh, okay. There you go.
and Dustin Mills stars in it. I switched the tables around and being covered in blood from him and stuff like that. I was like, oh, it's my turn to cover you in blood a bunch of times and slime. So we covered him in lots of stuff.
I know what it is. She's in Headless with you,
Yeah, she's in Headless, and I also
right?
she's a big role in Hunters, and I have a small, tiny role in Hunters as well. And she also has a scene in the extended cut of Easter Casket. She's also a star at Kill That Bitch, and I have a tiny role in Kill That Bitch, and I have a tiny role in Easter Casket. So seems like we've done a bunch of stuff together, but never been on the set. I've met her, and we've been on the set, but we never had any scenes directly with each other.
Okay. So how did you? I mean, I know you do a lot of stuff with Dustin. We had Dustin here last week talking about, her name was Torment too. But how did you get hooked up with Dustin as far
Well,
as the business?
believe it or not, I've done a bunch of reviews and everything like that, and I got Puppet Monster Massacre in the mail one day to review, and I looked at it and I was like, "It sounds fun." Don't really like the cover, so I didn't watch it right away. Then eventually I put it in, I watched it, and I was like, "That was freaking awesome!" So I gave it a positive review. I enjoyed it. Dustin messaged me and said, "Hey man, thanks for the positive review. Glad you dug it." So then after that, I saw him at Cinema Wasteland. We talked a little bit, and I found out that he was from Toledo. And his next movie, not Zombie A-Hole, but Night of the Tentacles after Zombie A-Hole, was going to have Jackie McNown in it, who was a high school friend of mine. So I was like, that's kind of weird that Dustin's making movies, and it's a small world. And eventually, he needed somebody to come in as a replacement for a short in the Collective Volume 4. And I was supposed to be like a guy in a hazmat suit, so I came and did it. And I guess he was like, yeah, he enjoyed being around me, and he said, well, we'll put you in something bigger. And he put me in Basalt Zombies too, and then pretty much I've either helped him or been on set for almost every one of his movies since then. Because I'm local, we always have a great time. All the people on a set love movies and talk about movies and just have a great time hanging out.
Yeah, I would love to be on the set of it. I mean, I don't even have to be in the movie. I just love to be on the set of a Dustin Mills film. It seems like the crew are and the cast are like family basically.
Yeah, I'm pretty close with Dustin and Brandon and Aaron, and Allison's really cool too. I mean, all the ones I've met are great. I've never disliked anyone on the set, and we've all always had just lots of laughs and lots of farts. Probably because what we eat.
Yeah, I loved my favorite Dustin Mills film is Zombie A-Hole. My second favorite Dustin Mills film is with you, and that's Bats All Zombies.
You like yeah, Zombie A-Hole when I first saw it, I wasn't sure how I felt about it, but I rewatched it and I liked it a lot more. Did you like to prefer the regular cut or the director's cut?
Oh man, think it's a regular cut.
It's almost like an hour and 50 minutes long. It's a long little like
Yeah,
feature.
yeah.
I enjoy it now, but the first time I had mixed feelings about it. It grew on me.
Nah, the first time I watched it, I was like, "This is so cool," and I said this to Dustin last week. I go, this is so cool. He took an idea of like Pee Wee's Playhouse, Gwangi, or Kwame, or whatever the little genie's head in the box, and just shrunk it down to the little voodoo doll in a box. I thought
The
that was,
Voodoo Doll is my favorite part. It's like he said that was like his love letter to like Charles Band and stuff like that, like the old like Empire Picture movies. And yeah,
yeah,
that's my favorite part. That thing was awesome.
yeah, that was a cool movie. I would love to see Zombie A Hole too. If he would ever do it.
I
Uh,
don't know. Most of his movies are open to a sequel, and I think that a lot of them, maybe get sequels in the future. I hope so. I know her name is Torment too. Her name is
yeah.
Torment's going to probably get one. We're looking like
Well,
it's going to happen.
yeah, we could talk. Let's talk about that a little bit. Her name is Torment too. Like I said, we had Dustin and Wes on last week, and they were talking about getting funding for it through the Indiegogo.
Yeah,
And I don't know if you've been watching, but I looked at today, and they've reached. I mean, not they haven't reached the pinnacle. They want to hit 6, but they got 5,000, at least
with
over
20 days left
5,000.
too, and
Yeah,
it's going to make it. I'm sure of it. I mean, if worst came to worst, and there was a couple $100 to get it, I would probably just pitch in that money. Uh,
yeah.
Maybe just starve a little bit that day, that week, or something. But and then if they hit 9,000, then they're going to do the third one too, because it's supposed to be a trilogy.
Yeah, that's what he said last week. He said the second one's going to be a lot more, crazier than the first one, but the third one is supposed to be more of a character-driven plot that ties up the whole thing.
Maybe it'll be like August Underground trilogy or something. You got the first one, that's then the second one's just a complete nasty one that you almost don't even know if you want to watch it ever again.
What was the other one that was going around a few years ago? The Vomit Gore trilogy.
Yeah, those those are
No, but
gross.
no, but I mean that was another one that's kind of like out of nowhere, and everyone was talking about.
Yeah, I mean they're for me they're one and done. Uh, I don't know how I feel about those movies, to be honest. They're kind of like I like some of the gore effects, but as far as that goes, and I mean some of the like their editing, like their sound editing and stuff, and some of the visuals are cool, but I'm not sure if I like the films as a whole. I don't know. They're
Yeah.
one and done's for me. Maybe they're points of interest, but I'm not sure if I would rewatch them a lot.
So name some of your favorite horror films that you find more rewatchable. I mean, it could be mainstream, it could be indie, whatever.
Uh, Rewatchable horror films, Murder
Yeah.
Party for one. I'll name a couple that people don't really care for. It's just because I'll throw it out there. A couple at first. Cullibus. Have you ever seen Cullibus?
No, that's one that slipped by me.
It's essentially Big Brother trapped in a house with this killer that kills them. I mean, it sounds generic and by the numbers, but it's a movie that caught me at an impressionable age, and it scared the shit out of me. I was like 13 years old. The Item, which is a movie that people hate, but the uncut version, The Item, I really enjoy. It's like if Quentin Tarantino made a movie for $10, and it's just these guys get this box. It's a box, and they have to watch this box, and what's in the box is a little creature, and of course, they all screw up and they open the box, and it's like a worm penis thing, and it starts talking, and it kind of gets in their heads and plays all their biggest fears, and they turn on each other and things like that. And
I
it's
think
just
I've seen that.
actually kind of fucked up what this thing does to them.
Yeah.
But like big mainstream movies, I can watch it over and over and over again. Return of the Living Dead's my number one. I can watch that a million times. Night of the Creeps, Monster Squad, Ghoulies
Alfred,
2. I love
you
those
like
movies.
you
Love
like
that.
your Fred Decker films, huh?
Yeah, The Thing
The
is a great
thing.
one I could watch all over again.
What did you think of the prequel?
I didn't watch it. I heard that it was all going to be all practical effects, and when they went the CGI route, where I heard they screwed the special effects artist over. They was like, screw you guys, we're going to digitally put crap all over your special effects, and then I saw a clip of it on the TV one day, and I was like, that is not for me. That's not. And the guy who there's a guy in it who played Adebisi in the show Oz, and I like that actor, so I almost watched it just for him, but I couldn't bring myself to do it.
I actually saw it in the theater and I liked it. I mean,
Really?
yeah, I like the original, but the thing I loved is that this is the Norwegian camp that they
Yeah.
talk about in the original. It's like, this is what happened. Everyone kept on bitching and complaining that it was a remake. And I'm like, it's not a remake, man. We finally get to find out what happened at Norwegian camp. And I found that intriguing enough to go to the theater and see it. You
Did
know,
they
whether,
actually show the guys getting the plane at the end, the chopper?
yeah, actually, the movie ends where the first one starts.
That's cool. I'll probably have to watch it just to give it a spin.
And the cool thing is that they used the old Universal logo, and it's kind of fuzzy. You know, it doesn't have that spit
Yeah,
and shine glare, so it kind of gives you the feel that you're watching an old movie at the very beginning. You know,
I'll have to watch it. I'll have to leave
yeah.
my prejudice aside and
I I know it's really hard to go, oh well, I want all practical effects. You know, that's the way I want things to be, but sometimes CGI does work from time to
it
time.
does. It's
You know,
when you mix it with practical effects, it works great. Like Irreversible, that opening scene with the fire extinguisher, or the Necrostorm guys who did Adam Chaplin. I like that kind of stuff. And sometimes, like Lord of the Rings, those backdrops, that's all you can do at this point. But there's something about when you don't use any CGI, you get a horde of zombies like Day of the Dead coming out of the woodwork.
yeah.
It's scary for some reason. Like Pumpkinhead, it's scary. Like I can suspend my disbelief of a monster as long as somebody physically made that monster.
Yeah, and I get that, you know. I mean, and it's true. But every now and then you just have to throw your hands in the air and go, "Okay, I get it."
Oh, I understand. I mean,
You know.
I love Dustin's movies, and Dustin's one of my best friends, and he uses CGI all the time. And I think sometimes it's called for, like green screen backdrop effects. I don't really have a problem there. But if a whole movie's focused on a monster, just one monster, then it probably should be practical.
Very true. I see that they're going to make a Trick or Treat too. Did you like the first one?
I love the first one. That's one that
Yeah.
you can watch all the time. I mean, that's a great movie. It's like Pulp Fiction of anthology Halloween movies because it intertwines so well. It's hard to get a movie to intertwine that well, especially we're not usually treated in the horror genre to have that great of a script.
Yeah. My favorite was the female werewolf story.
My favorite is the little kids and the bus.
That's
It's
yeah.
so twisted. I was
Did
explaining that story to guys at work, and I was just like, what am I saying here? This is some twisted stuff, but I think they would still like the movie because it's so well made. But
yeah, it's very bent. That story. But I mean, you can't. It's kind of weird because it's one of those movies you can talk about, but you can't talk about it too much because everything like you just said is connected.
yeah,
You know, it's like you like the bus driver story, but you can't talk about the bus driver. You know, but yeah, I do. I love the female werewolf thing and Anna Paquin and
yeah.
you know
She played Rogue, right?
yeah, and she's also she was on True Blood.
My parents loved True Blood. I didn't watch it. I'm not a big TV guy. Last I liked my favorite show of all time still Tales from the Crypt. So
Is what?
Tales from the Crypt,
Oh yeah, I have all 7 seasons, man.
as do I.
You can't go wrong with Tales from the Crypt. No, True Blood was cool. I mean, it was on for 7 years. It was a nice vampire film, a vampire werewolf
Yeah,
storyline. And if you ever wanted to see Anna Paquin naked, any episode will do. There's a lot of nudity in that show, man.
it was HBO, wasn't it?
Huh?
HBO.
Yeah.
HBO shows nudity in every. The show Oz was like penis, 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 set of boobs. It was like.
I never watched Oz. It just never appealed to me, but I did hear that it was probably some of the best storytelling out there.
Yeah. I mean, the last season's pretty shaky. Sometimes it gets ridiculous, but you are watching TV, so
Yeah. So, what's the let's do a few little quick questions here. What's the best worst film you ever saw?
That's a hard one. Uh, I really like Neon Maniacs. That's a bad movie.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I still need to get a copy of
But it's such a
that.
hard line to say. Like, I love the movie Video Dead, but most people consider it bad. I don't really consider it bad though. I think it's really fun and different. Demon Warp is a great bad movie, just because it's so stupid, so ridiculous. House of Rithicus. There we go.
There you go. House. Okay, I'll give you that one. Now I'm with you on Video Dead, man.
I like it.
I just watched that for the first time in like I guess close to 15 years, about a month ago, and I forgot how fun it is to watch.
I mean, the idea is ridiculous. Only that late 80s, early 90s could crack up stuff like that. Zombies coming out of a TV, kind of like TerrorVision or Killer Clowns from Outer Space, or it's just like, who wrote this stuff? It's so weird and zany, and I love it.
Yeah, it's like Stay Tuned with John Ritter.
Yeah, that's the same time frame too. Just so many
Yeah,
weird things.
yeah. What's the weirdest rumor you ever heard about yourself?
I don't know. People probably don't mention or talk about that, but it's probably childhood rumors, you know. I used to make up some fake rumors just to make people mad about, not about myself. One time we told everybody we used to go to island trips, and this is when we're like 18, 17 years old, so we'd all get drunk and sloppy, and we came back and I told everybody that one of my friends ate 10 pounds of bologna, just because it was so stupid and so innocent but so weird at the same time that no one would deny it. And he was like, everyone was like, dude, we heard you ate 10 pounds of bologna, and he was confused for days.
Oh my God,
This
that's
is
a
the silly.
that's a lot of baloney, man.
Oh, he was made it.
The question after that was if you could write, act, direct, or produce a classic horror film, what would it be?
Yeah,
And you don't have
Maniacs
Neomaniacs?
2.
Okay, that works.
I already started writing the script, but I'm never gonna. I was just screwing around one day. Add a couple new monsters, tie up the loose ends.
What's the best, oddest, or worst thing to happen to you in the horror business?
Scheduling is probably the worst thing, but nothing really bad's happened to me because I've only worked with my friends. I've worked with Adam and uh, Arthur, who directed Headless, and Scott, and those guys over there. They were all great. And Dustin's DMP's great, and Adam was great. I mean, driving and things like that, getting lost on the way to locations is not fun. That is miserable, especially
Okay,
on the
yeah.
way to Indiana, because the GPS I had was giving me these back ass woods directions and everything was closed, and I was by myself and I almost had a flip out experience. In Pennsylvania, the roads were pitch black, couldn't see a damn thing. That was also miserable. I'd say driving and thinking you're lost in a state when you're in the middle.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, not cool, but that's a good answer. You know, and of course, I mean, I have to ask. Everyone always asks me this question when they find out I'm a horror fan. They always, and it's such a loaded question because you know what I mean. What's your favorite all-time horror film? Any genre. I mean,
Any subgenre?
any subgenre. Yeah.
Ooh. Uh, I like Romero's trilogy, but I also like Return of the Living Dead. So
Yeah.
I can name a top 10 that I just absolutely love. More, I could probably name a top 100 that I love.
Yeah, I know the feeling. People always ask me this question like, "What's your favorite horror film?" I'm like, "You need to you need to break it down a little bit, man. There's so many
Yeah,
subgenres, you know.
like
My
what
favorite
did
werewolf film, my favorite vampire film. What? What do you want?
it's even hard then.
My favorite werewolf film is the classic 1941, The Wolfman.
I haven't watched it in years, but I got lots of Wolfman stuff around here. Let's see if I can get them up there. There should be all these horror models up there if you can see them.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
There's a Wolfman up there. The only one I'm missing is the Invisible Man, but am I really missing him?
But um bum.
That's my dad always said. I have a model. My dad actually made those for me. I have a model of him. It's just
Those, those
he
are
doesn't match those, and he's not made yet.
those are the old
Aurora.
Aurora models.
Yeah, all those are actual Auroras.
Cool.
The Invisible Man is not. They never made one. Aurora never made an Invisible Man.
Yeah, I remember my neighbor having the Frankenstein Aurora model, and it was the the head and the arms were glow in the dark. There you go. Yeah, I do. I love the Wolfman.
Yeah, there
I
was a glow in the dark series as well. Those models.
my second favorite werewolf film is The Howling.
My favorite werewolf movie. Man, that's tough. I don't know if I could do one. Uh,
There's a lot of them. That's
I
the
like
thing.
American in London, but you know what one I always liked? Bad Moon.
Yeah, that's a very cool movie. With Tim Curry.
Is he in that?
Yeah, yeah. He's the one that plays the. Okay, we're thinking about the same movie. It's a female, and she's the sideshow, like a sideshow werewolf freak.
No.
No.
This is the one where the guy in the very beginning blows the werewolf's head off with a shotgun when he gets attacked with his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And it has the dog.
Can't remember the dog part. Okay.
There's a lot. They all probably have similar names like
Yeah.
Full Moon, Bad Moon. There's Full Eclipse. There's Bad Moon. They all have like those, kind of pun and name titles. I
Then there
also
was
like
Go ahead.
American Werewolf in London's always good too. Can't go wrong with it.
American Werewolf in London is good. I saw The Howling in 1980 when it came out at the drive-in, and the I want to give you a piece of my mind scene
That part's
was
crazy.
was seared in my head for like 15 years before I got a copy on VHS. It was I mean, as cool as the transformation scene is in American Werewolf in London, the bladders just, you know,
Yeah,
I thought the bladders looked a little cooler.
the condoms under the skin.
Yeah.
That's probably what it was, but it looked good. What
Yeah.
about the Howling 2? Your sister's a werewolf.
I I you know what? As far as the movies go, those are probably the two better ones, you know?
That's a good bad movie, The Howling 2.
I don't know, I'd say was it Halloween. I'm not sure which one it is. The one called Marsupials?
That's 3 or 4.
3 or
3,
4, yeah.
3.
I
Never watched it.
it
I
just
have seen 6. The
that's
Freaks.
the one about the freak show, right?
That one's cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, so that answers that question for me. Anything you want to talk about?
Uh, Guess I could just mention Headless, which should be out in the late winter, maybe February, I think. If you guys have seen Found, there's a short in the movie within the movie where the kid rents a tape. And it's called Headless, and
Right.
they made a feature length of it, and I got to be part of it. I played Pete. I was the main girl's boyfriend, and I was like a pothead guy in a band. I was the lead singer of this band called the Dead Bugs, and all the other guys were named Bugs, Maggot, Roach, and Spider. But my guy was such a dick. I guess he was named Pete. I made a joke that they would call me Centipede, and I would get pissed about it. But it was a lot of fun, and it was a great experience. And I was in Indiana for 3 days making it, and got real bloody and real nasty. And it was great working with Kelsey. She was the girl, and Shane, who was the killer. And of course, all the people there were great too. The writers, the producers, they were super nice. And I guess I'm lucky because I've never dealt with any assholes yet.
Well, I do believe in karma, you be treated the way, you treat people the way you wanna be treated is what I'm trying to say,
Yeah.
you know? But, that sounds like a cool movie. So it comes out in February?
I think so. Maybe in the winter, something like that. There's also a Facebook page with more information and things like that. But Arthur, the guy who did the special effects in Found, directed this, and the director of Found produced it. So it pretty much just the same crew.
Okay. Looks like, we're gonna have to cut it a little short today. Thanks for coming on, Dave.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Uh, you guys check this out. Check out Headless. check out Headless. Check out the upcoming film. Her name was Torment 2. Uh, and of course, Slimy Little Bastards.
Title's ridiculous, isn't it?
I love the title. All right. I'll see you next week. I'm the 13th Wolfman. I'm on the prowl. I don't get that. I mean, I really admire the directors that can write, the Cronenberg, Carpenters, Cravens, Every now and then you get some guy that just goes, "Okay, well, I'll direct this guy's stuff," but that's it. I don't know. I wanna hear what you have to say, I mean,
Yeah.
as a director. So I wanna know what's in your, deeper, most inner thoughts instead of, like, the guy that wrote the movie. But I guess, I mean, the writers have to get the stuff made somehow. I mean, because not all writers are gonna be directors.
Yeah, or not all directors can be writers. Sometimes the director might pay a guy to he'll do a treatment and then he'll pay a guy to write the screenplay. So he doesn't know
Yeah.
what translates. As long as the director has more than one job, I think it's cool.
Yeah. Carpenter is, like, the one that you really just you look at it, and it's like he wears, like, every damn hat, dude.
Carpenter's probably the best American horror director ever. Maybe not my personal favorite, but I think he's probably the best.
Yeah, but, I mean, he produces, directs, edits, writes, does the music.
He's an animal.